Hey Astro Kids, and welcome back. This will be your daily horoscope for July 15th, 2020. But before I get into that, I want to mention that I am currently offering a class that is available in the Facebook group Astrology Class with Daquan Jones. So for those of you who are interested, I will leave that information down in the description as well as the comments. So let's go ahead and get into this horoscope. So, coming into July 15th, we have the sun that is here that is getting ready to enter into Leo very shortly. The sun is at 23 degrees of Cancer and it is in an opposition to Saturn. And so we're seeing this opposition that is happening here with Saturn as well as Pluto and Jupiter. And so, with all of this transformation that is happening within our reality, breaking down our reality, remember that Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto in Capricorn has been the ultimate breakdown of our reality that started off of that Saturn Pluto conjunction in January. So, this has been the falling apart of our structure, of our foundation as a whole in this reality, and it has been expanded upon with this Jupiter aspect, which has really come in as this component of faith. This is a faith test with Jupiter in Capricorn. Because remember that Jupiter is debilitated in Capricorn, where Jupiter is this very optimistic, happy go lucky energy of expanding our consciousness, going higher, searching for more. But it is seriously debilitated by this discipline and groundedness of Capricorn. And so, as we are here, we are in this space of really needing to believe in ourselves, needing to believe in where we are going and headed at this moment, especially as Saturn has retrogressed back into the sign of Capricorn. Remember that we had that brief period where Saturn was in Aquarius, where it will return in December, ushering in this new timeline and reality that we are shifting into now. So, this is a major test of whether we are going back to the past, whether we're revisiting our fears, making old choices and decisions that no longer serve us. And especially as this is in an opposition to the sun, which is in Cancer, this is about our feelings. This is about what is nurturing and fulfilling to us in our lives. And so, major test that is going on right now in terms of, are we going to allow the fear and the pressure to stop us from doing what we want in our reality, from doing what nurtures us in our reality, to what feels good in our reality? Because remember that the North Node is in Gemini. This is a karmic lesson that is all about that South Node in Sagittarius, North Node in Gemini, letting go of our old belief systems that no longer serve us and shifting towards the facts, shifting towards the true connection, shifting towards what we can create and manifest in this reality. And so, one of the big questions that is happening here that we've had since we entered into this North Node Gemini, South Node Sagittarius on May 5th has been, are we going to allow ourselves to dream and believe and stay in the vision of what we want to see happen? Or are we actually going to take the logical steps to get there? Because remember that Gemini, although Gemini is very scattered and is very versatile, Gemini is all about getting to the point, right? This is a logical sign. This is ruled by Mercury, and this is all about those quick logical decisions. And so, as we are in this space now, there's a big question of whether we are still dwelling on what we want to see with the vision of Sagittarius, instead of just getting to the point and making a choice, making a decision, moving forward into this new space. So, this North Node is heavily exalted here in the sign of Gemini, giving us this opportunity to create, especially with Venus, also here in Gemini, we have this ability to take our thoughts, our beliefs, our dreams, and to pull it into reality. And so the question here is, are you going to stay in this space of fear, in this space of blocks? Because remember that Saturn is showing us our limits. It is showing us our blocks. Saturn is the teacher of hard lessons and the hard truth of reality. And it is here in this opposition with the sun where we want to be dominant, we want to express ourselves, we want to go for what we want in this reality. And so, are we going to allow these blocks and these difficulties that are coming through here to block us from moving forward? And this is a big moment here that has been building. But as we come into this space here on the 15th, this is a big moment of really looking at what are the blocks, what are the frustrations, what are the difficulties, what is the pressure that is in your way. Now, also, we're leading up to this new moon in Cancer happening here very shortly, right before we enter into the season of Leo. And so the moon is here in Taurus in its exalted position. Remember that the moon loves being in Taurus because the moon is very much emotional, right? There's a lot of shifting, a lot of phases that the moon goes through. So there is this instability with the moon that it finds its security here in the sign of Taurus. And so, very much right now, there is this feeling of wanting to be grounded, of wanting to be relaxed. And many at this time starting to slow down, starting to take breaks, starting to relax at this time, as the moon is here in Taurus to remind us of getting in touch with nature, getting in touch with our five senses, coming back into this space of calmness and groundedness. And so this is very much a part of this opposition that's happening as this is making a trine over to Jupiter and Pluto. And so we have this challenge that is blocking us that is very much connected to, are we just going to stay in the same place? Are we just going to stop ourselves from moving ahead? Because remember that Taurus has the focus and the consistency to move forward, but Taurus also is grounded enough to be lazy, to be stuck in the same place. And so there is a question here of which way are we leaning towards with this moon in Taurus? Are we in this space now of just staying stuck where we are, not moving forward? Or are we going to use this determination and this focus of Taurus to move forward towards our goals? And remember that the old is strongly being broken down with Uranus being in Taurus. Uranus is debilitated in the sign of Taurus, and Uranus is here wanting to make changes, wanting to shake things up, wanting to push us towards growth and evolution. And Taurus here wants to stay in the same place, wants to do what is traditional, wants to stick to our old values, our old finances, our old structures in life. And so a big part of our reality as we once knew it is being broken down here with all of this change and transformation that is happening not only in the sign of Capricorn, but also here in the sign of Taurus, where our foundation, where our system, our structure, our finances are strongly being broken down. And so there's also a question here of, are you trying to hold on to old values that no longer serve you? This is all about stepping into what you want to see happen in your life right now. And so if you are holding on to something old that no longer serves you, you will see this continue to fall apart and break down with Uranus being here in the sign of Taurus. Now remember that we also have Mars in Aries, but Mars is in this conjunction with Chiron. And so a lot of fears around moving forward, taking action, because remember that Mars is at home in the sign of Aries. Mars is this drive, this action, this determination, this aggression, this will to get what we want in life. And so this is taking on this masculine role, especially in its home sign of Aries, where it's all about pushing forward. It's all about being the first one to jump in, to take the first action, the first steps. Remember that Aries is the start of the zodiac. It is that energy that gets things started. And so this is a big time of this lack of action and motivation that's happening due to our fears. Chiron is sitting in this conjunction with Mars. And so Chiron is bringing up our fears and our wounds around moving forward, around taking action, around how we will appear and show up. And so letting go of these fears around our identity, around how we show up, how we appear, how we take action that we have been going through here for a very long time is strongly being highlighted as it is affecting our ability to act on what we want. And so this is a very important part of what is happening here with this block from Saturn. Are we trying to live in an old reality? Are we stuck in the past where we have this inability to move forward? Because once again, we have to push through our fears and our blocks. We have to face this. The sun is in this opposition, it is facing Saturn. And so there is a big question here of whether you are allowing yourself to stay stuck or whether you are pushing through these boundaries, these obstacles. And big time to do this as Neptune is retrograde in Pisces. Remember that Neptune is at home in the sign of Pisces. It is all about our imagination, our dream world. It is also connected to our spirituality and delusions. And so one of the big things that has happened here with Neptune in the sign of Pisces is a lot of misconceptions, a lot of irrational fears, a lot of subconscious blocks coming up to the surface. And so this has been going on here for a very long time where are we trying to tell ourselves a story that is not true? Are we sticking to a story that is based in fear that is not the true reality of what is happening? And that is being faced here as Neptune is in retrograde. This is a review period for us to look inward at these subconscious blocks and fears and to do the work to move through this, to work through this, to move forward away from these fears and distractions that are happening from behind the scenes. And keep in mind that we have all of these retrogrades that are happening now, where this is a big time for us to do deep inner work, right? This is a big review period that we are going through, especially with Chiron now being retrograde. A lot of internal fears and blocks around how we are taking action, how we're showing up, what it all looks like that is happening right now. And so this is a big moment if you are not taking the opportunity to look within yourself and to look at these wounds and these fears and blocks and to work through this, that this is going to be a very difficult, challenging time for you. Because we are going through this period now of really connecting back to ourselves. Remember that Cancer is this sign of nurturing. This is all about taking care of our innermost feelings. And Mercury is here in Cancer. And it is also here making this square over to this Mars conjunction with Chiron. And so once again, a lot of these fears and insecurities that are coming up to the surface and are coming into our clarity, into our focus. Because remember that Mercury is this original ruler of Gemini that is all about our logical thinking, that is all about our communication, that is about getting the details and the information. And so there is a lot of information that is coming to our attention, into our awareness, that is about our fears and insecurities at this time. That is about the blocks that are happening internally with ourselves. And so there's a lot here to work on as far as what is stopping us from taking action. Now, I also pulled a card as well for today. The card that came up was Leo. So, great card for the 15th of July as we are facing this challenge and difficulty to take action. Leo is this sign that is about taking action, that is about doing what you love, that is about your confidence, your pride, your self-esteem. And so this is a big time to step into that confidence. It is a big time to create what you want, to do what you want in this space. And so a lot that has to be faced here internally at this time. And so, big question around what is it that's stopping you from taking action right now? What are the blocks? What are the fears that are around this? And look at all of these yods that are happening within this chart. So, a lot that is surrounded around what is your purpose? What is your mission at this time? What is it that you need to do at this time? And keeping in mind that Juno is still in Libra, that this is still about committing to what brings you the balance into your life, what brings you peace and harmony. And so, are we trying to stop ourselves from doing what we want at this time? Big question, especially as Juno is in an opposition to Mars, that are we trying to not act on what we want, to act on what we need in our lives? Big commitment issues around what we want to do, what brings us happiness and joy that is happening. And so that's a big theme that is coming up here that is forming this T-square. And the release point is there in Capricorn, where this is about buckling down, taking responsibility, doing the work that is necessary to get to your goals, but pushing through those blocks, pushing through those fears. Remember that Capricorn is traditionally ruling the top of the sky, the highest point that the sun reaches. And so this is about reaching for our goals, reaching for our expectations in life, reaching for what we want to achieve. So that was your horoscope for July 15th. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed, feel free to leave a like as well as a comment. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell. And feel free to join the group Astro Metaphysical Love and Light on Facebook to share any motivational advice, spiritual wisdom, or simply just peace and love. Thank you all once again so much for joining. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.